written by Michael Emerson. Deeply hidden things. When Albert Einstein was 5 years old, his father, Emerson, showed him a mathematical compass. Watching its floating movement aroused his curiosity. What caused turned the casting around and around his hand? Why did the needle always point north, as though an invisible hand controlled it? Einstein was too young to understand the answer, but he never got the feeling of wonder and mystery. He wrote that watching the compass has taught him an important lesson, that something deeply hidden has to be behind things. That curious little boy grew up to become a career scientist to spend his life trying to identify that something by continuing to pursue his curiosity. Albert Einstein forever changed the way people think about the universe in which we live. A talented, curious boy. Albert Einstein was born on March 14, 1879, in the small town of Ulm, Germany. The next year, his family moved to the larger city of Munich, where Albert's younger sister, Maja, was born. Maja would become his closest childhood friend. Einstein's entire family had a strong influence on his life. His mother, Pauline, played the piano and shared her love of music with him, encouraging him to take the violin. Although he disliked the required structure of his lesson, he found that he loved playing the violin. His violin would be a constant companion for the rest of his life. Einstein's father and two uncles were electrical engineers. They introduced Einstein to math and science at an early age and taught him the basics of algebra by making it into a game. A medical student program teacher once a week brought him science, math, and philosophy books. For hours, Einstein would pore over the books for hours at a time, especially if it would think about the philosophy. Also helped shape him. Even as a child, Einstein had the ability to concentrate deeply and would pursue complicated problems until he was satisfied that he considered every solution. In school, Einstein's talent for math and science was apparently immediately. However, so was his individuality. To young Einstein, the teachers seemed like the army surgeons would only drill the students to memorize the information and to think lively, instead encouraging them to think independently and seeking new answers. Einstein's objection in class caused disruption. Eventually, one of his teachers suggested he leave the school altogether because his attitude was diminishing the class respect for the teacher. Both Einstein and his teachers were relieved. When he finally left school at 15 to join his parents in Italy, family had moved to start a business, but shortly after they settled in Italy, Einstein moved again, this time to finish school in Switzerland. When he was only 17 years old, Einstein was accepted at one of the finest scientific universities in Europe. He often skipped routine lectures and spent most of his time in the laboratory, developing his own idea. Most of his university professors agreed that the brilliant young student might have a very bright future if only they learned to follow the established rule. The Pentagon office. Einstein had trouble finding a job after finishing school in 1900. Certainly, he had been an unquestionably bright student, and he has graduated from one of the finest universities in Europe. However, his strong sense of independence, of curiosity, and made him unpopular. with the teachers who could help him find the work he desired. A teaching position would have given him freedom to pursue further study. Dismayed but not discouraged, Einstein didn't give up. He had ideas he just wanted to think through and test. He just needed to find a time and place to pursue them. Einstein found both the time and place in 1902 when he took a job as a clerk in the printing office in Bern, Switzerland. His unusual job was to make sure that the device um that's courage that the devices had to persuade them. Einstein found both the time and place in the 1902 where he took clerk patient office Switzerland. The initial levels were that the devices submitted for printing certifications worked the way their inventors claimed. The job in the patent office allowed Einstein to do what he did best, pursue his curiosity and question. On the first day of work, Einstein's motto is, and you pick up an application, then anything that the inventor says is wrong. The security of a reliable and regular working hour gave Einstein the freedom to work on his own idea. In spare time, he made a group of friends to share his curiosity about the scientific in philosophy and mathematics. They called himself Olympia Academy, and their exhausting changes often went on until late in the evening. As they talked, and during those years of steady work and strong friendship, Einstein began to develop ideas that would change science forever. The miracle year. By 1905, Einstein had worked in the printing office for 3 years. During that time, he studied his feeling curiosity him to research, study, and give a deal of thought to the new scientific theory. He soon felt confident enough in his results to share the idea he had developed. Einstein sent paper explaining the ideas of the leading German scientific journal of the time, and produced physics. Journalists published the first of this paper followed. Einstein's first paper explained his idea about the nature and behavior of light. In the second and in the third paper, called Molecules and Atoms, describe how they move. His first two papers offer new explanations for understanding the relationship existing among space-time and objects in motion. Scientists were astounded by what he wrote, but where had the unique idea from? But work certainly changed over 200 years of accepted scientific thought of content and behavior of the known universe. The scientific community was equally amazed that this idea came not from a professor of physics at a major university, but from a curious 26-year-old patent clerk. Immediately after the publication of his idea, Einstein's scientific career took off many directions. He was further energized by the attention of his work received from the scientific community and by the opportunities that were open to him. He received invitations to speak at scientific meetings and to explain his new idea. The 1905 Nobel Prize winner in physics personally congratulated Einstein, a well-known and highly respected professor of physics named Max Planck even began to teach his students Einstein ideas. In time, 1905 came to be known as Einstein Miracle Year. A rising star, Einstein continued to work at the pension office until 1909. That year, he was gratified to finally receive an offer for a full-time job at a university. Einstein accepted the position, then courageously jumped from school to school for the next few years, still searching for the ideal place to pursue his research. Meanwhile, he continued to develop and refine his earlier ideas, which was hard work, and several times when Einstein thought that he was on the wrong track. He could be highly self-critical. In fact, his ideas were so familiar that he often thought he was losing his mind. Then, in 1915, he asked Beckford. He finally determined how to unite his earlier individual ideas into one system, which is called the general theory of relativity. Einstein's idea once again excited scientists around the world. In 1919, British scientists tested Einstein's theory by measuring the position of a star using the solar eclipse. If Einstein was correct, then the star would appear in one position, while it was actually in another. To extension, the star appeared almost exactly where Einstein said it would be. Newspaper headlines around the world announced its finding. A British newspaper declared revolution in science. New theory of the universe. German newspaper called Einstein a new celebrity in the world history and said his idea was a complete revolution in our concept of nature. Overnight, Albert Einstein became one of the most famous people in the world. Some would just probably proclaim that he was the most influential of the 20th century. Despite his success and the wide insist on his theories, was not everyone pleased with Einstein. Many scientists built their careers on the ideas that Einstein disapproved, and others did not want to believe Einstein's theory because they would be difficult to test in a laboratory. The people simply disliked Einstein because he was a Jewish man living in the country where the preachers against many few groups of people was growing. Over the next few years, Einstein fans increasingly feared for his safety. Although Einstein would become a vocal opponent of rising prejudice in Germany, he took up professional criticism his work in stride. He knew his fear was not perfect, yet with each newspaper published, more people came to recognize that Einstein's work was critically important. In 1922, Einstein was awarded the prestigious Nobel Prize in Physics. The uses of film. As Einstein's fame grew, so did the demand for the interview, photograph, speeches, and writing. Attention and mixed feeling about all this attention. This man on time has interrupted his research, despite his concern. Einstein also knew that fame opened more minds and allowed him to bring his idea to wider audiences. Einstein used this fame to draw attention to issues he cared about. One of the Einstein most deeply held belief was that war should be avoided at all possible. In 1914, he was one of the three scientists who signed letters speaking out against Germany militarism against the country taking part in World War I. More than 100 scientists signed letters supporting Germany's entry into the war. Einstein actively participated in the anti-war efforts, publicly supporting international groups for working for peace. He wrote about his anti-war belief. Einstein, with helping create the Celtic Pope, pushed back, although his scientific discovery was used to create the bomb. Einstein did not actually participate in the project. He actually sent a letter to President Franklin Roosevelt, warning of the bomb's potential for destruction. When Einstein came to the United States, he saw that black people did not have the same rights or opportunity as other citizens. He became a vocal author and spoke out against prejudice. Many of Einstein's views changed of course his life. However, his strong belief in the Parisian idea that the violence had grown never answered remained consistent. He advocated the world government over nationalism. He used his fame to promote his idea that people, no matter where they live or what they believe, should not harm one another. Coming to America, despite the efforts of Einstein and others in promote peace, Germany moved closer to the war in the 1930s. This time, German government has tolerated Einstein, famed criticism of the plan. Einstein knew this tolerance was not less. The Nazi Party was on the rise. In addition to Einstein's vocal criticism of the Nazi politics, the Jewish heritage made him a target. In 1933, following the series of annual lectures in the United States, Einstein sailed to Belgium and chose to formally give up Nazi. Without returning to his home in Germany, Einstein accepted a position with the Institute for Advanced Study in Princeton. German military chose much of his property, publicly burned many of his papers and books, and denounced him as a traitor. In New Jersey, Einstein moved his family to the house close to his office. They soon became part of the Princeton close-knit community. When out of town, Peter wanted to know where the great man lived. Townspeople would ask, "Are you expecting?" This question prevents strangers from bothering Einstein at home. For the next 22 years, Einstein continued working to expand his idea into new areas. Some people thought his efforts showed that was losing touch, but Einstein didn't pay much attention to the criticism. He believed he could develop a new theory that didn't find his idea to the relative theory. He remained dedicated and worked at his ideas that never gets achieved. Some thought he had during the miracle year of this general theory of relativity. Always in demand, he continued to give speeches, writing articles, and meeting regularly with fellow scientists. Einstein's influence. Einstein's curiosity led to the creation of many useful products. For example, Einstein's idea about the nature and behavior of light led scientists developed new ways to control light. These new technologies eventually led to the production of the television, cameras, remote control for home electronics, and flat-screen computer. Einstein was also the first person to think of the laser light, the technology that is now using a compact disc, CD, digital video disc, DVD, and store checkout equipment. His book of the distant thought and Merkel led to the creation of improvement wide a wide range of products, including shaving cream, toothpaste, personal computers, and cell phones. Einstein's scientific ideas continue to influence this theory and technology. Current ideas about the organs of the universe, nature of space and time, and strange introducing objects called black holes are the results of Einstein's work and original thinking. Einstein's discovery and equation provided for the foundation for scientists to comprehend many aspects of the universe. Scientists have only recently been able to confirm some of Einstein's most advanced theories. A life well lived. Einstein once said, "The most beautiful experience we can have is the mysterious. It's easy enough to understand a little of this mystery every day." His death on April 18, 1955. Einstein's curiosity led him to do his work understand nature, the way people think about time, space, energy, and matter. the foundation of the universe.
Good job! Awesome! You are so... Click! What? No way! You gotta...